What happens to your muscles 48 hours after a workout? Most people stop too early. You finish a hard workout, your muscles feel pumped, you sweat, you leave the gym believing the work is done. But here's the surprising truth. The workout itself isn't where most muscle growth happens. In fact, some of the most important biological changes occur 24 to 48 hours after you put the weights down. While you're sleeping, working, watching TV, or going about your day, billions of microscopic repair processes are taking place inside your muscles. New proteins are being built, damaged fibers are being repaired, energy systems are being restored, and your body is deciding whether to come back stronger or simply recover to where it started. Most people focus obsessively on the workout. Very few understand the recovery window that follows. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're breaking down exactly what happens inside your muscles during the 48 hours after exercise. We'll explore muscle protein synthesis, inflammation, glycogen restoration, nervous system recovery, and the biggest mistake people make that can sabotage muscle growth entirely. Let's dive into the science. The workout doesn't build the muscle. One of the biggest misconceptions in fitness is that lifting weights directly builds muscle. It doesn't. The workout is actually a controlled stress event. When you lift weights, your muscle fibers experience mechanical tension. Some fibers develop microscopic damage. Energy stores become depleted. The nervous system becomes fatigued. The workout creates the signal. Recovery creates the adaptation. Think of training as sending your body a message. This level of strength is no longer enough. Your body then decides whether to adapt. That adaptation happens after the workout. 0 to 6 hours. The damage phase. Immediately after training, your muscles enter a state of disruption. Microscopic tears appear within muscle fibers. Cell membranes become temporarily stressed. Inflammatory signals increase. Protein breakdown rises. This sounds bad, but it's actually necessary. Without stress, the body has no reason to adapt. Exercise deliberately creates a small amount of controlled damage to stimulate future improvement. At this point, your muscles are not stronger. They're temporarily weaker. Recovery hasn't started yet. The signal has only been sent. The inflammation response. Shortly after training, the immune system becomes involved. Specialized immune cells begin arriving at the trained muscles. Their job is cleanup. They remove damaged proteins. They clear cellular debris. They prepare tissue for rebuilding. Inflammation often gets a bad reputation. But in this context, it's an essential part of recovery. Without this temporary inflammatory response, muscle adaptation would be severely impaired. The key is balance. Too little recovery signaling limits growth. Too much chronic inflammation can interfere with it. 6 to 24 hours. Muscle protein. Synthesis turns on. Now the real magic begins. Following resistance training, muscle protein synthesis increases significantly. Muscle protein synthesis is the process of building new muscle proteins. Think of it as the construction phase. Your body starts assembling new structural material. Damaged proteins are replaced. Muscle fibers begin reinforcing themselves. This process requires amino acids from dietary protein. Without adequate protein intake, the construction crew lacks building materials. The signal to grow exists, but the resources are missing. This is why nutrition plays such a critical role in recovery. Why protein matters so much. Every muscle fiber is primarily built from protein. After training, your body becomes especially sensitive to amino acids, particularly leucine. Leucine activates a major growth pathway called mTOR. This pathway helps initiate muscle protein synthesis. In simple terms, resistance training turns the key. Protein provides the bricks. Both are required. Without training, growth signals remain low. Without protein, growth materials remain insufficient. The greatest muscle gains occur when both are present. 24 hours later, the hidden recovery phase. This is where many people underestimate what's happening. A full day after training, recovery is still underway. In fact, muscle protein synthesis often remains elevated. Your body is still actively rebuilding tissue. Many people believe soreness means growth. That's not necessarily true. Some people experience significant soreness. Others experience very little. Growth can occur in both cases. The important process is what's happening microscopically inside the muscle fibers, and that process is still very active. The glycogen rebuilding process. While muscle repair is occurring, another major recovery system is working behind the scenes: glycogen restoration. During exercise, muscles burn stored glycogen for energy. Glycogen is essentially stored carbohydrate. After training, these reserves must be replenished. Your body begins pulling carbohydrates from food and storing them back inside muscle tissue. This process restores performance capacity. Without adequate glycogen restoration, future workouts may suffer. You might feel slower, weaker, less explosive. Recovery isn't only about repairing tissue. It's also about restoring fuel. 36 hours. The adaptation window. Around this stage, your muscles are deep into the rebuilding process. Protein synthesis remains elevated. Cellular repair continues. Energy systems are recovering. Connective tissues are adapting. The body is essentially upgrading itself based on the demands you imposed during training. This is one reason consistency matters so much. A single workout produces a temporary adaptation signal. Repeated workouts reinforce that signal. Over weeks and months, these repeated cycles create noticeable physical changes. Muscle growth isn't one event, it's thousands of recovery events stacked together. 48 hours, the peak of recovery. For many people, for many individuals, especially beginners and intermediate trainees, recovery processes remain highly active for up to 48 hours after resistance training. This is why the 48-hour mark is so important. The workout is long over, but the adaptation process is still happening. Your body is still deciding how much muscle to build, how much strength to retain, how much recovery to complete. In many cases, the benefits of the workout haven't fully materialized until this point. The training session was merely the trigger. The real transformation occurred during recovery. Why training the same muscle too early can slow growth. One of the most overlooked reasons people stall in the gym is not lack of effort, but poor timing. Even though muscle protein synthesis can remain elevated for up to 48 hours after resistance training, training the same muscle group again too early can interfere with the recovery and rebuilding process. Here's why this matters. During the 24 to 48-hour window, your body is still actively repairing muscle fibers, restoring glycogen, and reinforcing structural proteins. This is also when satellite cells are most active, supporting muscle repair and adaptation at a deeper level. If you overload the same muscle again before this process completes, you repeatedly restart the damage phase instead of allowing full reconstruction. That can reduce the efficiency of muscle growth over time, even if total training volume is high. This is the core reason recovery timing is just as important as workout intensity. Growth doesn't happen faster when you interrupt recovery. It happens when you allow the full adaptation cycle to complete. The biggest mistake: training hard, recovering poorly. This brings us to one of the most common fitness mistakes. People train intensely, then neglect recovery. They sleep too little, eat too little protein, stay chronically stressed, fail to hydrate, skip rest days, then wonder why progress stalls. The body doesn't grow because you demand it. It grows because you allow it. Recovery isn't the opposite of training. Recovery is part of training. Without recovery, adaptation cannot occur efficiently. The role of sleep. If there is one recovery tool that outperforms almost everything else, it's sleep. During sleep, several recovery systems accelerate. Growth hormone increases, protein synthesis continues, the nervous system recovers, inflammatory processes become regulated. Memory consolidation even helps reinforce motor learning from training. A great workout followed by poor sleep is like planting seeds and refusing to water them. The stimulus exists. The growth potential does not. The nervous system recovers too. Most people think only muscles get tired. Not true. Your nervous system experiences fatigue as well. Every repetition requires communication between your brain and muscles. Heavy lifting places substantial demands on this system. After training, neural recovery becomes essential. This is one reason some athletes feel mentally drained after intense workouts. They're not only recovering physically, they're recovering neurologically. Strength gains often depend as much on nervous system adaptation as muscle growth itself. Why more isn't always better? Many people assume that if one workout is good, more workouts must be better. Biology disagrees. Adaptation requires a balance between stress and recovery. Too little training produces little adaptation. Too much training with insufficient recovery can impair progress. The goal isn't maximum stress. The goal is maximum adaptation. And adaptation occurs during recovery. The science of supercompensation. Sports scientists often describe recovery through a concept called supercompensation. Here's how it works. You train. Performance temporarily drops. Recovery begins. The body repairs itself. Then it overcompensates slightly above baseline. That's how you become stronger, faster, more resilient. The key is allowing enough time for supercompensation to occur. Interrupt recovery too early, and you may never experience the full benefit. The big takeaway: 48 hours after your workout, your body is still hard at work. Muscle fibers are rebuilding. Protein synthesis remains elevated. Glycogen stores are being replenished. The nervous system is recovering. Inflammation is resolving. And adaptation is taking place. The workout started the process. Recovery completes it. Understanding this changes everything. Because fitness success isn't determined solely by how hard you train. It's determined by how effectively you recover from that training. Conclusion: your muscles don't grow during the workout. They grow during the recovery that follows. Every training session creates a biological challenge. Over the next 48 hours, your body responds by repairing tissue, restoring energy, strengthening muscle fibers, and preparing itself for future demands. That's where progress actually happens. So the next time you finish a workout, remember, the session isn't the finish line. It's the starting signal. The real work is just beginning. How sore are you usually 48 hours after a workout? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this science-based breakdown, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive into human biology. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.